evening. It's a far cry from the consumption treatment site that closed earlier this year, but a community group says they are setting up a medical tent at the Victoria Street encampment in Kitchener to help fill the gap left by the closure of the life-saving service. That's where we find CTV's Jeff Pickel this evening. Jeff, there is what do we know about this medical tent?
Well, Ashley, it's being set up by a small community group who say they're doing so in direct response to the closure of the CTS site. They tell us they don't have medical personnel running it, but everyone who will be there is trained in overdose prevention. Now, everyone who, people who either live down at the encampment or help out down at the encampment say that something is better than nothing.
There's like a wide open area over here that is relatively central.
One of dozens of tents at 100 Victoria Street in Kitchener, a local community group setting up what they call a medical tent. Jacob is an outreach volunteer who lives on site.
This is people that live in the area that see a need, who are taking it of their own will to basically fill that need.
He is not part of the group establishing the tent, but says it's a welcome resource.
Filling in a lot of the gaps in terms of needs and stuff that, supposedly the region and the government is supposed to be providing.
This comes after the region's only CTS site, just a few blocks away, closed in March of this year after funding was pulled by the provincial government.
This is how people kept their communities alive before these services existed.
Jeff Bardwell is a researcher at the University of Waterloo who studies drug strategies. He says this type of community reaction is common.
If we think about other crises, whether it's, let's say, forest fires or floods or infectious diseases, communities find ways to respond that might be outside the norms of public health or outside the norms of government.
Bardwell says what's different is a lack of action from the government.
Perhaps what might be different here compared to, say, forest fires is perhaps the public perception, but also the lack of urgency at a provincial level. And so due to this lack of urgency or inaction in certain regards, unsurprisingly, we're seeing communities respond.
The region of Waterloo say they were not aware of the medical tent and are not involved, but had no further comment. Now, hanging over everything here is the fact that the region says by December 1st of this year, everyone at the encampment will need to be out as they start with the construction project there. But at least at this point in time, it looks like more tents going up than coming down. Ashley?
CTV's Jeff Pickel reporting live for us tonight from the encampment on Victoria. Thank you, Jeff.